So what he's basically saying is a cognitively declined and incompetent senile old man, Biden, got ahead of them.
In your specific case, Joe, our reporting indicates that Joe Biden, who, as you know, is a frequent viewer of the show, saw when David Ignatius wrote that column in, I think, August 2023, saying that Joe Biden should not run for re-election because of what he had been hearing.
Right.
And he came on this show, and you guys had a robust conversation about this. You largely agreed that you'd been hearing things about this, but that there was really no alternative, that Kamala Harris was not up to the job. That's what Democrats were telling you behind the scenes. Joe Biden saw that. Joe Biden said to staffers that he wanted to convince you that you were wrong. And he focused on you like you were a constituency, like you were farmers in Iowa, like you were the Kiwanis Club in New Hampshire. And he made sure that you thought differently. He made sure that you thought differently. I think he did this with a couple people. I think he did it with Meacham. He might have done it with Evan Osnos. He knew that there were people that had to be convinced that he was fine. And he tried to prove that to you.
God, these idiots. He outsmarted them. This is what he's saying. It doesn't even make sense. He's saying that they were idiots and they fell for all of this, is what he's basically saying.
That, and he's trying to cover for the media not doing its job. He's trying to cover for the media being in the ass of Biden and the Democratic Party. That's what he's really trying to do. He's trying to make himself and Scarborough look like they were just duped and, they were trying to do their job. But Jake Tapper, if I remember in the interview with Megyn Kelly, or I may have heard him say it before, when he came to Alex Thompson with the book, he already had a book that he was writing, and then he met up whatever kind of way connected with Alex Thompson. So basically, Jake Tapper is basically trying to take all of this and run with it to make him, because he wants to make cover for himself because he didn't do his job. This is bullshit. Look, instead of just coming out and saying, you know what, media, we effed up. We didn't do our job. We let them run roughshod, go haywire, say anything. He had from June until October or November the 5th, whenever the book was starting to be written. He had about at least 4 or 5 months or so before he could come out and say something. He could have interviewed whomever. He could have interviewed anybody in the Republican Party. He could have interviewed anybody he wanted, but he chose not to because he was afraid of the Democratic Party and he wanted to be invited to the Associated Press events. He wanted to be invited to the party. He wanted to just, be the go-to guy. He basically licked the balls of Joe Biden's little raggedy, shrunk up, demented balls, and they had their heads up their asses. That's what they were doing. And now he's trying to play like he didn't like the taste of the lick. Bull.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe not his prostate balls. You are wrong.
First of all, Shelley paints a picture. You see what I'm saying? She uses her words like Picasso on a canvas. She paints a picture that is just going to burn into my psyche all night long. But I'm going to say this. Jake Tapper and all of the other Democrat journalists that have books coming, because he's not the only one. He's just the first one. And there'll be a myriad of these books. They saw an opportunity to get rich and they're taking it. They weren't coerced by the Democratic Party to do what they did. They did it willingly. They are active partners. They are participants in this.
As the world leaders that we historically have been, the world deserves better. It is time for Republicans to start calling him out and start questioning his mental acuity and whether or not he is equipped to serve mentally. We know when it comes down to his criminality, he is not qualified to serve. But this is just absolutely deplorable.
So with all of that said, I just don't think that the American people are going to buy any more of their bullshit.
I hope not.
You have to realize that they're not here to help.
Exactly.
They're here for their own power. They're here to ensure their own legacy, to enrich themselves, and they couldn't care less about the American people. And it shows in everything that they do. Jake Tapper likes the sunshine. And there's nothing wrong with liking the sunshine, but if you have to sell your soul to get it, if you commit treason against the very nation that you profess to love, there's something wrong with you. And we already knew there was something wrong with him, but now the whole world knows. Listen, folks, don't spend one nickel buying that crappy book to tell us what we already knew 4 years ago.
Right.
We knew this 4 years ago. That's not like, lightning from above. This guy is trying to grift the American people again.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right, Nicole. Legacy media couldn't spot Biden's cognitive decline, even if it walked up and forgot their name on live TV. Exactly. Wait a minute. He did do that. He did it. It's ridiculous. They make me sick. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, we got to acknowledge these super chatters. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate every one of you. All right, we have here Silver Sister says ball liquor. I know.
Listen, they're trying to spin it, but the American people are much smarter, much wiser, because there's alternative facts, alternative media available for them to partake in, and they are in droves. And this is why we see so many legacy media people moving over to this particular space. So this is concerning to me for two reasons. They sit on TV and cry, oh, we didn't know. When one, we knew full well they knew. Two, not only did they know, but if anyone else brought it up, they dragged them for filth. They roasted them over an open flame. What they did to Laura Trump in that interview was ridiculous. And the fact that she found the grace to forgive him, speaks volumes about who she is as a human being. Because if I were her, Jake Tapper would be my number one topic every time I opened my mouth.
Right.
Exactly.
Jake Tapper, he basically was saying, he said that he tried to, be vanilla with the reporting for Biden before the debate, because he knew, well, he claims that the Biden administration did not like him. And so he didn't want to step on their toes. But what kind of reporter does that? I mean, and you could see, this is what he did. So, he totally did not press them. He did not ask them questions. He did not, he pushed away everyone who mentioned that Biden was being, had this cognitive decline, because he wanted to do the debate. He wanted to be the reporter or the journalist that got the debate. So he did it for his own good.
Exactly. And it was nothing about the American people having the facts, the information, even asking the good questions, the hard questions. That was nothing like that. Again, the media, I had another, Nicole said I have an image. I have another image. The media has been licking the balls of the Democratic Party, just like Joe Biden licks those ice cream cones. Now you put that's how much they've been licking. That's how much they've been licking his balls. KJ, don't make that face. KJ.
Oh no.
Look, it's been more than 4 years. Joe Biden was in office 4 years, but even the 4 years, maybe, years prior to that, of course, but certainly within the last 10 years, the media has literally been in the pants of the Democratic Party, licking all kinds of ways and whatever. That ice cream cone was really good to them.
I know, that's so gross. I can't even. I'm thinking about it, because he always was licking that ice cream cone, and then I'm thinking about your visual talking about the media licking his testicles. This is just gross. This is gross. You've gone too far. You've gone too far.